front, we the community are going to be playing for this. It's abundantly clear that the only economist who actually thinks that this could possibly work out is the one who wrote the deal. That means that you need, as the council, to essentially realize that you're signing up for $100 million plus in bonding. And it's plus because it starts with a brownfield remediation. Brownfield remediations are notorious for going over budget. Basically, we pay for everything except for the uniforms, and they're guaranteed ad revenue, all kinds of other things. In schools, you've bonded out so far $194.6 million for South High School. That's the only school you've paid for so far. Yourself, Mr. Chair, said back in March that there are some tough decisions that are going to have to be made, and the finances of the city are the most important thing that we do, and everything goes from there. There's a limit to how much you can borrow. Are you managing this fee for the good of all, or for the good of the few?
Thank you. What I've been very impressed with is the commitment of the team to be engaged in the community, to be engaged in community projects, and community service. So I just wanted to mention that we are in full support. Thank you.
Thank you.
A team in the last year, this past season, that has drawn 72,000 fans to Hanover Insurance Park. A team that has averaged over 2,500 fans every night to watch college baseball. Number 6 in the country, if you take a look at all the summer collegiate teams. An organization that fed 9,000 school kids this year, many from the city of Worcester, during our free camp days, all for free. And I'm here because there's something that troubles me. And as I look around this chamber, there's just too many faces of people who I haven't seen at the ballpark in the last year or the last 2 years. Some even in the last 3 years. And Worcester Bravehearts aren't going to get in the way of progress in this city. But when the discussion of progress in this city involves a discussion of baseball, we would expect to have a seat at that table. And perhaps the most troubling thing in the announcement on Friday in this very building is that the discussion of baseball for the first time in 5 years did not involve the Worcester Bravehearts. So I do think that progress in this city can center around baseball. But I'd like to come back to where the Worcester Bravehearts were in 2014 when we received a key to the city. And I'm not here to give this back to you. Its second championship, we received a proclamation from the mayor, handed to me by Councilor Toomey, that read, and I quote, "We encourage members of our city to embrace the role of the underdog, always promote teamwork, keep focusing on how to make Worcester a better place to live, work, and play, just as the Worcester Bravehearts have done this year." That is what the Worcester Bravehearts exist for. My question to this body, what else can we do?
I just want to say that I'm a bit of an unusual because I was born in New York and raised in the Dominican Republic. Yet I'm a Red Sox fan. After I came here from high school, I graduated in the Dominican Republic. I came here to Worcester where I attended at Assumption College. I had a great experience and I love Assumption and love being part of the community. But, you know, to get to work for the Red Sox, whether it be Boston or Pawtucket, was, to me, beyond a dream. But luckily I met Dr. Charles Steinberg, who, I don't know, he saw something in me, I don't know what it was, but when I said how honored and privileged I would be to work for the Pawtucket Red Sox, you know, he stopped me and he said, "Don't you worry, you just got the job." I mean, I nearly cried because of that, but, you know, after working hard during that season, Dr. Charles and Jackie Denson, who for me are my mentors, this year they asked me to assist in a new initiative called Osos Polares of Pawtucket. And it's a program that seeks to diversify our fan base and expose our current fan base to the wonderful and beautiful culture that exists in Latin America. And also, we invite fans from various backgrounds and ethnicities to game, and we continue to engage them even after the ball game is over. The team is participating in groundbreaking programs, and the Paw Sox appreciate and value diversity. And they embrace fans from all over Latin America and their cultures, and it's pretty amazing to see, and will be to the people of Worcester. Thank you.
Worcester. It's going to grow your brand. It's going to create a sense of pride in this community that has never existed before. You are going to get people coming from all over to visit our restaurants, visit our hotels, hopefully come to our football games at Assumption, and do things that they normally wouldn't come to Worcester for. So I encourage you to think about this on a much broader scale than what's just been presented in terms of numbers. Think about pride, think about brand, and think of the opportunities. I, for one, am very excited about the internships and the things that we could offer our students that we couldn't before. So thank you very much.
This is a true American city full of good, diverse, special, hardworking people. I've always been proud to say that I'm from Worcester, but I know that isn't the case for everyone. This city has been a hidden gem for too long, but in recent years has been excitingly on the move. Bringing the Red Sox AAA affiliate to Worcester will not make our city great because it already is, but it brings pride and excitement to our city, something that sports can do. As a child, I always looked for Worcester's unofficial mascot, Buller's Orson, driving to 90, and I admittedly still look for him now. Seeing him proudly wear a Red Sox jersey will make me smile and warm my heart.
This ball club, okay, as of 2016, okay, it lost 41% of their fan base, okay, which brought them down to only 6,000 fans. They also did an interview with the city manager, the manager of the team, plus also the news stations, okay, and he stated that the reason for the lack or the attendance record was not because of the stadium, it was because of the competition of other sports. I don't believe it's not going to cost the taxpayers any money at all. We've lived through Worcester Airport until the state took it over. We're sitting right now with the DCU Center, which I believe is not paying for itself. In Union Station, if I'm wrong, correct me. I don't think we need another white elephant in the city of Worcester.
Here in the Canal District. I stood here a year ago at the council meeting where the council voted to have the city manager engage with negotiations to bring the Paw Sox to Worcester. And after reading the papers this weekend, I guess it was very successful. And it proved in the end that this is a shining example how local government could take the word of the citizens and work together and go out and accomplish a deed that provides for the whole city. My feelings were about the damage that might be done in terms of attendance to the Paw Sox, the Bravehearts. And I took the perspective that if I were a high school student today and I was playing baseball as a freshman in high school, I would try to excel not only for my high school, but I could look down the road and say, perhaps I can go to college and play ball. Gee, there's the Bravehearts team. What a stepping stool that would be for me. And now, right around the corner, a AAA baseball team from the major leagues. Think of the agents that will be here in the city, the professional ball players that any high school kid would salivate to have one of them watch him play, and perhaps encourage a career in baseball. So,
community of Gene and his wife, class act all the way, going to every business in the Canal District and getting the postcards, which showed the Canal District Alliance and all of us now that folks are coming into our community from afar. More than 54% of all postcards came from outside the region. To be the president of a community development corporation that was sent in to help the Canal District 10 years ago, and to see what it has grown into and to be considering a $240 million proposal that improves everything that's great about Worcester, that's being done in the tradition of everything that's great about Worcester.
I just think our brave hearts, we shouldn't get rid of our brave hearts, because when we had nothing, they came. They're the winners. They won for us. So why would we give away a team that won for us? I think when the Red Sox have go-away games, the brave hearts should have their games. We should not get rid of the brave hearts because we have the Red Sox.